Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Look at the bright side, Arizona. If your closer is a pariah or a piñata or the person you hate most on the entire planet, it means your baseball team must be pretty good. And alas, we are again at that tired, angry intersection in Arizona where the Diamondbacks cannot afford to let Paul Sewald close another baseball game. Sewald's failure on Wednesday was nearly a 5-alarm disaster. If the Diamondbacks had lost another potential sweep because of Torey Lovullo's loyalty to a fallen closer, today might have been one of the angriest days this sports town has seen in a while. In fact, Ryan Thompson should get 5 saves added to his record for his performance on Wednesday. It was that enormous. So after cruising through most of the season, Sewald has lost his velocity and his confidence, and yesterday he appeared either incapable or terrified of throwing the ball near the plate for where it might end up. You take away his blown saves in the month of July, and the Diamondbacks would be closing in on the Dodgers in the National League West, and yesterday he nearly coughed up a 4th straight chance to sweep an opponent. And by now, in this town, with our history of closers, we all know how this works. We also know this has been a very tough year for Torey Lovullo, from the rash of injuries to a patchwork pitching staff to the year-long struggles of Corbin Carroll. But now he has no choice but to sit Sewald down in a corner far away from the 9th inning, because a faulty closer can not only sink a team, he can drag down a manager who is too late in pulling the plug. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Honestly, it's just trust his stuff. He's a really good pitcher, and I've been through a lot of rough stretches, like you said, a lot of us have, and I've been through a rough stretch this season. And the first thing you want to do is you want to start second guessing. But Paul, man, he's a veteran. Like he's not pouting. He's not overthinking it. Like, he knows how good he is, and he knows that he's going to go out there next time he gets the opportunity and get the job done. He has to trust his stuff, throw strikes, and he's going to get the job done. We all in this clubhouse, we believe in Paul a lot. So we're going to have a good stretch in the season.
That's Ryan Thompson, who came in and cleaned up the Paul Sewald mess in the 9th inning. They were able to escape with the win. They do get the sweep, as you said, in the blast. That was not your normal save. You look at a box score in a newspaper or on a website, and it says save Thompson, but that was not made up like every other save.
It wasn't.
It was about as difficult as it could get.
And again, from a viewing perspective, as a baseball fan, you went into that inning and you didn't even have to give the ball to Paul Sewald. You could have given it to Ryan Thompson to start that inning. But Torey Lovullo apparently wanted to see if Paul Sewald had kind of gotten his mojo back. And watching that inning unfold, from all the bases that were willingly give away, defensive indifference, watching guys move up to second, then take third, then watching that wild pitch that was a pass ball and that just got by Jose Herrera, it was like the team couldn't have tried any harder to give away a game on a silver platter. That's what it felt like. And then Ryan Thompson came in and somehow got the last out of that game, or last 2 outs of that game, and this team was able to walk away with what should be a high point of the season. Your second sweep, and now a stretch of baseball going into August that makes you one of the hotter teams in baseball. But this closer issue, this ain't no joke. We have lived this so many times in this town.
No, and it's time. I totally agree with you. I'm not going to take the extreme example of some that I've seen on social media. Let's run him out of town. He's a bum. He needs to go. Torey Lovullo has proven time and time again he is a patient player's manager. And then on the other side of the spectrum, Vic, you still have fans saying, well, he's our guy. You got to ride with him. Look at his record. He's struggling right now. You got to stick with him. I'm not there either. And those people will point out, well, look at Torey's patience with Eugenio Suarez and Corbin Carroll. That's different. Those struggles came earlier in the season, and they're 1 of 9 in a lineup. When the spotlight is on you as a closer in these high leverage close game situations, you can't continue to squander those. And this was almost the fourth one he had squandered in a short period of time. Paul Sewald is in the midst of a terrible month. And some of the numbers are eye-popping at how bad this month has gone for him. During May and June, Bick, Paul Sewald made 18 appearances and gave up a total of 5 hits.
Huh.
He was nails.
Yep.
This month, 12 appearances, 18 hits, 12 runs, an ERA of almost 11.
Huh.
You can't have that.
No, you cannot.
But again, it's not like just DFA him and get him out.
No.
Correct the issues.
Yeah.
And Torey Lovullo acknowledged, hey, this is a delivery issue. You know, Paul Sewald is like a UPS driver with a flat tire. He's got a delivery issue right now. So they're going to figure it out. And maybe you can get some contribution from Paul Sewald down the stretch. And talking to Derek Hall, they are very aware that they have a number of options to turn to as the closer. So there's no need to continue to try to let Paul Sewald work this out in high leverage situations.
That's right. They've got options. And again, I think a quick tip of the cap to Mike Hazen for doing what he did at the deadline on a couple of different levels. You had to adjust at the last minute to compensate and get something in here at the short term to sub out Christian Walker, and then you added depth to the bullpen, which now gives this team the flexibility and a couple of different candidates to step into that closer's role. Now, the idea of Paul Sewald returning to be the team's closer at some point in time, we don't know about that. Nobody knows about that because you obviously have to give the ball to somebody else. And if you give the ball to somebody else and it's lights out, for instance, if they take that opportunity with A.J. Puck and they say, you do this, and he just starts eating people alive from that position, then they're not taking the ball from him.
No, but
nor should they.
No, nor should they. But again, if it doesn't happen with Puck or Thompson or Ginkel, whoever they choose to be that ninth inning guy, you could possibly go back to Sewald. But you talked about it. Yeah, earlier in the show. Paul Sewald, even all year, his velocity has been down a tick. And he's not a guy who relies heavily on velocity. His fastball ideally tops out at 92, 93. If it's around 90, okay, then you got to be more precise with your stuff. And he was a guy yesterday who just didn't trust anything. And your reaction to it was the same reaction I had. He was hesitant to put the ball anywhere where it could be hit because he was afraid it was going over the fence.
It was going 500 miles.
And I thought the shot Abrams hit the center, I thought that was out.
Yeah, so did I. So and the one out he was able to record was an incredible play from Pavin Smith.
Yes.
Incredible.
Here's the big picture with this team right now. It still was a great month. There was a lot of frustration for this team in July, from the blown, the heartbreaking, crushing losses to the injury to Christian Walker. But they went, 17-8 in the month of July? It's one of the best months they've had on the calendar in this franchise's history. And if you go back a month, July 1st, the Diamondbacks were 41-43, still under 500, 10.5 games out of first place. And, in the thick of the wild card. They are 5 games behind the Dodgers in the National League West standings right now, and the Padres are starting to breathe down their necks too. The Dodgers are not infallible. I'm wondering how much of the shift, if this winning can continue, how much of the shift goes from, all right, we're going after the wild card to maybe being a division champion, because the Dodgers they started the post-All-Star break very strong. They looked like a Little League team last night. They had as many errors as they had hits in that loss to the Padres.
Yeah, well, it almost feels like the Padres are in their heads a bit this year.
Yes, I agree.
And I agree with you that I think maybe something bigger might be in play at some point in time, but you got to deal with the Padres as well. This has suddenly become quite a 3-team deal in the National League West.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.